Hi there, welcome once again to United Everything Football Podcast. 1-1, it ended at Old Trafford. Man United going ahead with a penalty from Bruno Fernandes, but allow themselves in a short minute, as has been the case around this group of players. We score, and in the next 5 or 10 minutes, the opponent comes back to score. Quite unfortunate, but the game ended 1-1. If you look at the stats, in terms of possession, Chelsea had it, but if you check the amount of goals, the expected goals, the XG, you definitely would want to ask yourself, why is Man United not winning this game at Old Trafford? The last time Chelsea won at Old Trafford was 2012. So for me in particular, irrespective of the form, in fact, we've had very bad United teams. Chelsea have still not been able to beat us at Old Trafford. The best they've normally gotten is a draw. But unfortunately, we had the opportunities to win this game, but unfortunately, we ended up picking just a point. On hindsight, or before the game, I'm sure you'd have picked the points at least. But given the chances that we missed, we definitely wish that we had won that game. But that's Manchester United for you. I'm here with Kwame to go into the game. We'll try and break it down. We'll try and understand exactly what happened. And also, please remember to share your comments, and also remember to like the videos. Please subscribe. We are almost at the target that we've given to you, so please help us get to the 2,000 subscribers that we asked of you. So if you're not subscribed, please remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Thank you for always being a part of it. For those of you who have always been contributing to doing all the things you've been doing for us, we are very much grateful. Thank you. Kwame, Ruud van Nistelrooy says he's slightly disappointed. I don't know what you think. How have you been?
I have so much to say. So much. I don't even know where we should start from. Or do you want us to take a break?
Let me do my quick turnaround. So, all right. So, let me do a quick turnaround. When I come back, we'll give you all the lowdown on the game. All right. Thank you very much for sticking and staying with us. This is United and Everything Football. Remember to leave us your comments on the podcast. Remember, leave it down there, your concerns, everything that you thought about the game. Please remember to share it with us. But Kwame, let's start from
Ruud van Nistelrooy. I want to start from Ruud van Nistelrooy. I'm not even going
to start from Ruud van Nistelrooy.
I'm starting from Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Let's start from
as soon as possible. I want him to leave the football club.
As soon as possible.
It sounds harsh, but as soon as possible. Fine, mandatory. He has a week to go.
Yeah,
he should do a decent job for us over the next 7 days. But I do not
two more games to go.
I do not want him to be part of the new regime. People may think I'm going to blame him for this result, but that's far from it. Do you remember when Michael Carrick took over as interim and after we sacked Ole Gunnar
Solskjaer, yeah.
He had 2 tough games.
Yes.
One away in the league to Chelsea.
Yes.
And one away to Villarreal, a ground we have never won before.
Yes.
Mind you, we had lost to Villarreal in the...
You forgot there was a third one.
The year before.
There was a game against Arsenal.
He even beat Arsenal. Yeah, he beat Arsenal. That was a tough schedule.
Yes.
And guess what? What I saw from him wasn't just a team that was full of vibes and passion. But he tried to change something from what we had seen in the previous 17 or so games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah.
Tactics and personnel-wise, he showed that we can do things differently. When we sacked Erik ten Hag, we sacked him because he kept repeating the same mistakes and not getting any results. I was expecting Ruud van Nistelrooy to come in and show a bit of mettle, but what he's just decided to do is continue from where his previous boss took off.
Yeah.
In terms of selection, in terms of tactics, in terms of in-game management, substitutions, the very same thing.
It felt like Erik ten Hag still at the bench.
You see, we said we're not excited by the 5-2 win against Leicester because we saw the same thing. There was nothing different for us to discuss. He went into this fixture, selection the same, players' positions the same, irrespective of how the game was going, the substitutions were the same. It was just so disappointing. And I'm saying to myself that if you can't show a bit of balls, cojones right now.
Show yourself.
Show yourself. That's the word. Show yourself. Show us what you got. and you're just going to continue in what has not been working for us, the outcome is what we have seen.
Yep.
We'll get into the players. We'll get into the actual game itself. But I just needed to offload that. He's sounded out that he wants to stay. He wants to stay. That would be an absolutely shit idea. Keeping him around. Even his aura around the club. He's a big man. He's a big boy.
For me, that's the point. That's the point. He takes a lot of this thing from. Like he has a cloud. He's loved. He's cherished, right? And the aura.
You don't need that. We don't need that.
We don't need that.
A new era means everything should be different.
Absolutely.
We should just move on. If we are being honest, he's still part of Erik ten Hag's team, part of the old era. I know that historically over the past 11 years, every manager who has come in has had a bit of somebody like that on the bench. If you go all the way back to Louis van Gaal, I think he had Giggs on his bench.
Yes, he had Giggs.
You move from there, you go to
Jose
Mourinho. He had Carrick on his bench.
Only himself, old guy.
Carrick.
He also had Carrick and Fletcher.
And Fletcher has always been there in some capacity.
Yes.
I don't get into Fletcher. Fletcher is doing an amazing job with the youth
with what he's doing. Yeah,
with what he's doing. Don't drag him into this.
I'm talking about the old players around.
Keep him where he is. Let's stick to the bench. Then this guy Ten Hag brings in McLaren.
Yes.
Former assistant coach
to Ferguson.
Sir Alex Ferguson. He brings him. So there's always that remnant there. But has it worked? That's what you have to ask yourself. It's not worked. So if it's not worked and we've gone to pay for a coach, very expensive coach, plus his backroom staff, his entire backroom staff that he's worked with ever since he became a professional coach. I'm putting professional in quotes because that's a very, very interesting background.
We'll talk about that later.
The background of Amorim is very, very interesting. If he's bringing all these people with a particular way of work, why would Ruud van Nistelrooy, why would you want to be an assistant to a 39-year-old whom you could actually say you are at par with or better than? Go out there, get a big job, right? Get a big job. Do something with yourself. And if you're worthy of the United job later in the future,
one day we'll bring you back.
Why not? I think his heart is ruling over his head at this moment. I've said to you privately, if you have played for PSV, you have played for Manchester United, you have played for Real Madrid, mind you, for the young viewers, he never wanted to go to Real Madrid. We forced him out to Real Madrid.
He had a fight. He had a fight with Ferguson.
He had a grudge with Ferguson.
Over Ronaldo.
The whole long, the Garnacho of that time. It's a whole long story. But then he found himself being kicked out to Real Madrid. I bet the fact that he had a very good career at Real Madrid, won a title with them and all that. His heart may not have been in it as his heart was at Manchester United. He's coached PSV, his first club. He's coached Manchester United, his second club. He loves the city. He loves the football club. I think his heart is ruling over his head. There are people who are going on about the fact that, he still has a 2-year contract and blah, blah. Assistant coaches are always... even their payoff is nowhere as expensive as that of the main coach. It's not about that. He actually really, truly wants to stay, of which I just do not understand it. He should move on. Let's get into the game. I'm on fire today, aren't I? I'm on fire. Let's get into the game. Same selection as expected. We could all tell the players who are going to play. He has started a back four of Mazraoui, man of the match for me. I'm sure for almost every United fan. Absolutely fantastic signing. We'll get into the quality of the signings, but that is one that is a hit. There are a lot of misses of which we'll get into. Started at left back because he's been starting at left back over the last couple of games before Erik ten Hag was sacked. He played at left back. Of which many people have said he should have started playing left back even from the beginning of the season instead of Diogo Dalot, based off his profile and the history of playing left back for Bayern Munich for extensive periods last season. Centre back, Martinez went back into centre back with Matthias de Ligt. I think they were good up until the point that Martinez did something really silly that I just can't get my head around. He's been doing a couple of silly things this season that could easily have led to red cards, but once again, he got away with it. Very nasty tackle on Palmer. Go away with it. Besides that, I think he was fantastic with De Ligt in the middle. De Ligt was a bit shaky to start the game, but he grew into it and he was much better. Dalot surprisingly was a bit stable, despite the fact that he had a yellow card for a very, very rash
tackle from.
I think Neto is a handful. His fellow Portuguese is a handful, and overall, I think he handled it with a bit of dignity. He wasn't spectacular, but I think he handled himself quite well. The defense was fine. Midfield, we're all clamoring for this. A midfield of Ugarte and Casemiro. If you told me before the end of the game that by the end of the game, I'd say Casemiro was by far the better of the two, I tell you, you're a joke, because I was expecting Casemiro to be all over the place as usual in the game.
Yeah.
He was by far the better of the two because Ugarte looked completely out of sorts.
Correct.
Off it. Let's be honest. We've been saying that he's not been treated fairly, but there may be something in the fact that he's not up to speed with the league yet.
Yeah.
It's a new league. It happens to certain players. Some players stick to the league like a duck in water. Yeah. Other players take some time to get their groove into it. He's had a couple of good games in cup games, but in terms of the Premier League, the speed, the pace, the intensity, he's off it. He was poor. He gave the ball away on countless occasions which could have led to us being in trouble. But for Chelsea themselves, I'm sure they'll be disappointed in how they performed. A lot of their players underperformed. Cole Palmer underperformed. In as much as our players were making bad decisions, they were making bad decisions as well. They showed less quality than they actually have, because overall, when you look at the size of their squad and the quality of their squad overall, I would confess that they are slightly better than us. In terms of personnel, the depth in quality, I think they're better than us. I bring up the depth in quality because we are going into the forward areas now. That is where the main issue actually is. Bruno Fernandes, to me, I think played one of his best games this season. He was fantastic. He was very good, very resourceful. He played a very free role in front of the two defensive midfielders. That's what allows, when you play two defensive midfielders, it allows you to do that. We've been saying that Bruno plays well in more advanced positions. Behind a center forward, roams in and around, can be at the end of chances, can score chances himself, can create chances. I think he was at his creative best. He was very industrious, worked very hard. You ask yourself, where has this Bruno been all season? Why did they have to take a sack of a manager before he turned up in the previous game against Leicester and in the game today? It makes you question the mentality of this place, even starting from the leader himself. He's our best player by a mile. But he epitomized how bad the squad was up until this week that his coach was sacked. I saw in the post-match that he said that he did go straight away to apologize to Erik ten Hag because he felt he has been part of the problem. He's not been scoring goals as regularly as he should have. He hasn't even scored a league goal this season. Right? He's put away, he's missed a lot of quality chances as well. So he owned up to that. He took the blame for that. But he is not the only one to blame. Like I said, we are getting into the forward areas. Now let's talk about three. The front three. Rashford started on the right. Kwame, why is Rashford starting on the right these days? What's the reason? What's the logic behind it?
Whatever idea that these coaches have, or whatever thinking that they are having, I have absolutely no idea, because I can't seem to.
I think I made a mistake.
That.
Rashford started on the
left.
Sorry,
and then
on the left.
The course of the game,
and he was very good, very, very good playing on the left.
Yes.
See, our front line of Rashford, Højlund, and Garnacho is not fluid. And it's not fluid because of this reason. Say whatever that you want to say about Marcus Rashford. Say whatever he's done in the past up until this very point. He's still the best forward out of the three. He's still the most experienced out of the three. And when it comes to big games, if you are going to put your money on any of the front three to score a goal for you or do something in a big game, it's going to be him. I've always said that there should not have ever been a case where Marcus Rashford alone at this point in Manchester United's rebuild, or whatever that you call it, is the main man. But ask yourself, how come this situation exists? It's because we went down a path that we should never have gone down. When Erik ten Hag took over, Ronaldo was our lead centre forward, right? He got rid of Ronaldo. But ask yourself, what firepower have we purchased since? You don't weaken yourself. You rather get stronger through the market. And we have spent £200 million on our forward line. And we are not better off. We are not better off. Zexi and Højlund cost a combination of 100 million euros. And I can't say for sure what you're going to get from any of these two strikers. You spent £85 million on Anthony, who can't buy you anything. Now he's done. He's literally finished in a football club, right? Amad Diallo was purchased before and has been given the opportunity, but he's still young, immature, inexperienced. Rashford aside today, the other two forwards just screamed immaturity, inexperience, and lack of quality at times, and selfishness. Selfishness, I'm tagging it to one particular player in Alejandro Garnacho, who started on the right. Like we said, if Rashford is having a great game on the left-hand side, to start with, the biggest threat that we have, Garnacho is having a nightmare. Ruud van Nistelrooy, it's almost like as if it's pre-planned changes like that of Erik ten Hag. After 22, 23 minutes, Garnacho was signaling to him that, you know what, we are supposed to switch now. And that was when Rashford is actually cooking Gusto. Got him on a yellow card, was turning him inside out. If you are a good coach on a touchline, irrespective of what has been pre-planned, when you read the room, you read the tactics, right? You know at a particular point in time that we can put all that we pre-planned aside because the game is going different. That's what we call in-game management. But all Ruud van Nistelrooy stuck to was what his coach would have done if he was at the touchline. And he switched them and sent Garnacho back to the left, Rashford back to the right. Garnacho was at his profligate best all throughout the game. And strangely enough, when we took the lead through one of the few moments where Højlund did something good, because from the first half, after 10 minutes, he could not hold up the ball. He could not pass the ball correctly. He could not do... See, like the money we've spent on these forwards, and we don't have any quality to speak of. It's absurd. But one ball over the top from Casemiro, this time, fortunately, I don't know whether to put it on good movement because his movement isn't great. His movement is atrocious. Rather than move the way that he did, he often finds himself fighting defenders for absolutely no reason. He got away from his marker in Fofana this time, a very bad £70 million signing that Chelsea fans don't want to talk about. And he was able to get to the ball before the goalkeeper got to the ball and then won us a penalty. That's the only good thing he did all game. Bruno Fernandes stuck it away. And minutes after that, our coach took off Marcus Rashford and brought in Amad Diallo. At the end of the day, you have two kids who are struggling, and he added another kid to it. No experience up front. I did not know how we were supposed to, first of all, defend, and secondly, counter-attack properly. Because I was thinking that was the perfect time to even have Marcus Rashford on the football pitch, when there's going to be more space in behind their defense to play. But it's pre-planned substitutions, just as his manager would have done, because that's what we've seen over the past couple of weeks, where Rashford is stuck on the right side for long spells in the game. Garnacho is wasting all the chances on the left-hand side, where you would think that if Rashford was there, based on the fact that he's playing better than he played last season, he would have taken those chances, especially in big games. Takes Rashford off and leaves Garnacho on. And has Amad there and Højlund struggling down the middle. He takes Højlund off and he brings in Zexi, who should be things that the Premier League is like spending time on the beach. He's just not doing anything in the football game. An absolute atrocious signing to start with. I may eat my words on all of these heavy criticism of these players because there will soon to be a change of manager. With a change of manager, sometimes it impacts players differently. But from what we are seeing so far, Joshua Zexi, sexy Zexi ain't sexy. He looks lost. He looks horrible. He has no place in this league. And we should not... We wanted Benjamin Sesko. Clearly, he was our first target. Unfortunately, things did not go well. This is what happens when you miss out on your first target sometimes, and you have to go on backup options. The backup option may be nothing close to what your first option is. Like I said, I'm just hoping that maybe a change of manager would breathe new life into some of these players. But what we have spent our money on our forward line, the immaturity that they have, the inexperience that they have, and the selfishness that they have, it's not going to get us anywhere. The stats show clearly that we are the most profligate team in the league. 20th dead last when it comes to XG, chance conversion, we are like 19th, 20th. We can blame managers all we want, right? For certain things, because I do believe that managers set things up for certain things to happen, chance creation, all of that. But at the end of the day, players have to take their chances. Unfortunately, we went down a path where the inexperience, the lack of quality, it's just too much. There's a reason why the ball is not going into the net. There's a reason why Garnacho is not scoring goals. He's just not there yet. In the last 10 minutes of the game, it was so hard to watch because he wanted to be the star man.
That's the problem. That right there is the problem.
He had envisaged that, you know what? Heroes complex. I'm the one going to win us this football game. And that simple, basic decisions that could easily have led to quality chances being created for us. He was not able to do it. One ball that he could easily have laid off to Ahmad. Ahmad would have been 2-on-1 with the Chelsea defender because Zexi was off the other side. Whether he chose to go at goal or to pass the ball, that huge opportunity was missed. There was one that Mazraoui made a run just around. All that he had to do was lay the ball off to Mazraoui. Mazraoui squares the ball into the box. Probably Zexi taps the ball into an empty net. He was trying to be a hero. When you leave things, right, the squad as it is, the front line to kids to solve our problems, this is what happens. And what hurts me is, like I say what you say about Marcus Rashford. I think he's converting one of those chances. Absolutely. I think he's doing better with some of these opportunities.
Absolutely.
It's clear. I don't understand the management of Erik ten Hag and subsequently Ruud van Nistelrooy of Marcus Rashford this season. I don't understand what the plan is, but it seems that they had a plan. And this is how they want to do it because it's just a continuation. All in all, like you said in your intro, before the game, I would have taken the results. At the end of the game, it leaves a better pill in your mouth because you know we could have won this. But I understand why we didn't win this. It's the same problem we've been facing from the start of the season. 1-1 at the end of the day. You know how United and Chelsea fans are. I'm not personal. I know your thoughts are different from mine when it comes to how you perceive the rivalry between ourselves and Chelsea. I have an issue with Arsenal. I've just been an Arsenal hater my whole life. But I understand that from where we come from, the country that we come from, the part of the world that we come from, the huge Chelsea fan base is a thing. And our rivalry with them has taken precedence. So it's very good that in the midst of our chaos, we didn't lose to them. That's why before the game we would have taken a draw at worst. But you feel like we should have won. You just feel like we could have won. But our record with them is somewhat still intact in the sense that they haven't beaten us there in like 10 years. They've won just one league game against
in 12 years. 12 years.
12 years. They haven't beaten us at Old Trafford in 12 years, but they've just won just one league game against us since 2016. So yeah, we still have an X on them. Going forward, like I said, Ruud van Nistelrooy, I just want him out. But he has two important games to still handle. I say they're important because me and the two of us have done this in the background, but then it's good to share with our viewers.
Yes.
The season is not lost. The season is not lost. The reason being that they sacked Erik ten Hag very early enough. When you look at the table, forget about challenging for the title. It was never on the cards to start with.
From the beginning.
The challenge was top 4, right? The challenge was top 4. We have played 10 league games, if I'm not mistaken, with a paltry just 12 points. This coach, Ruud van Nistelrooy, has just one more league game to handle, which is against Leicester at home. If he wins that game and puts us on 15 points, mind you, Chelsea and Arsenal are 6 points ahead of us, but they play themselves in the next game. It's very possible that despite the fact that these two teams have had a very good start to the season, we could be only 3 points behind one of them come the end of next week if we beat Leicester. But when our new coach comes in, he has a lot of points to play for. A lot. 27 league games is a lot of games to recover the season. The reason being that we've seen other managers turn around seasons with that magnitude of games left. A very good case in point is Unai Emery when he took over
Aston Villa
a couple of seasons ago. He completely flipped their season around. And by the end, from relegation zone all the way to European places. So we are not well near the relegation zone yet. We have a decent point tally to start with. If Ruud van Nistelrooy gets at 15 points, we have 81 more points to play for. Of which traditionally 70 points gets you Champions League places. Historically, that's just how it is. Last season, I think Aston Villa even had 68. They didn't even get to the 70 points. Despite their stellar form, it tells you how difficult it is to get to 70 points if you're just battling for top 4. So if he has 81 points and his base is 15 points, assuming Ruud van Nistelrooy wins against Leicester, He has no choice. He has to win it. By fair or by foul, he has to win it. All that I said Unai Emery. All that Ruben Amorim has to do is accrue 55 minimum, 55 points from the 81 points. When you look at this difference, it shows you that there's a lot of room still for error.
Yeah.
A lot. If Ruud van Nistelrooy wins one more game, would have won 4 games. All he has to do is come and win 14 games out of 27 football matches.
Yeah.
It's not an arduous task. One would say he should even do better than that. Anywhere between 55 and 65 and 60 points puts you on between 70 and 75 points for the season. Mind you, the highest points tally that Erik ten Hag got was 75 points. Before then was 81 points by Jose Mourinho.
Yes.
We have not been great in the league. We have not. So the bar isn't
too high.
So high. That's what I'm trying to say. The bar isn't high. Anywhere between 70 to 75 points for the coach is still doable. 55 to 60 points out of 81 points. You can afford to still lose between 21 and 25 points. Lose games and still make the top 4. So there is no excuse for him coming in and not performing. What we want to see differently, it's not just a change in approach, because I think this approach is boring. It's not effective. They create chances, all right, but it's still labored. You want to see us play differently, stylistically differently, tactics differently, because I still believe that we have a set of players to play in the way that he wants. And secondly, the job of a coach is to make players better. He should get these players to stick the ball at the back of the net, convert their chances. New manager comes, new vibe. Get Højlund to start scoring. Play Rashford in his strongest. I'm sick and tired of this swapping. I'm sick and tired of it. Personally, Rashford should be starting ahead of Garnacho. Garnacho is better off as an impact player off the bench. I do not care what anybody says now, but that is where his place should be. Close enough to the starting 11, but not just yet. That's what I want to see our forward line. Let's not debate this. Let's not argue about it. Let's not go back and forth. We are in the crunch now. You need to get serious. Play your best players. Play them in the right positions and try and get a result. I'm wishing the new coach the very best. But from the evidence that we saw today, he has a hell of a job to do. Kwame, I have unpacked.
Well, I'll just add that because our time is up, and all I will say is that Ruben Amorim, I wish you the very best, because what you are coming to do, or the job that has been piled on you, is no small job. These players, I don't know. They can decide to be average. They can decide. Because I don't know why Bruno Fernandes is apologizing. That thing pisses me off. Roy Keane said
how come you flip the switch all of a sudden you're playing well?
He said I've switched the... I don't
know. I'm talking about Bruno. How come he flipped the switch all of a sudden? Automatic, and he's playing well.
You get it. From the last 2 games, he's played very well. Scored 3 goals in the process. Right? So some of these players...
Where are the goals? Where are the goals? What was he doing?
See, it is getting boring now. The players, it's getting boring. It's getting boring.
You know, he said something, that we can't sack 15 players, but then it's easy to sack the coach. I was like, so
They know. Those boys, they know. That's why Roy Keane has been saying that. I saw a video of Roy Keane saying that, see, if you're playing with 8,000 people, 500 people, run. Keep the coach in, stick the ball at the back of the net. That's exactly what you need to do. So, I mean, you are earning salary. I mean, we're having our banter with our friends at the other side. Someone was saying Garnacho is an innocent kid. An innocent kid that has given birth.
When you're playing for Manchester United, you have a responsibility.
You are no innocent kid.
Massive responsibility.
Stick the ball at the back of the net.
Kwame, for Amorim, we have to buy him quality players. Let's be honest. We have to, because our recruitment, the immaturity, the kids, they're not there. Manchester United should not be relying on Zexi and Højlund to get us.
It's too much.
They are not ready. Not ready. We need a ready centre forward.
We need a ready centre forward, and it has to be done. All right, guys. I wish I could say more, but I will reserve it in the course of the week, where we would be discussing a lot of the things and building up to the PAOK game in the Europa League, where we need to set things right in that particular game as well. We hope that things get better. Thank you very much, Kwame, for joining us. In the course of the week, we'll be joined by our guests, where we'll deal with all the issues that we put together. We'll bring you the updates on the FPL as well, to know where things are standing at the moment. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Kwame, see you at the other side. We'll be back in the course of the week with more here on United Everything Football. Have a great time. Bye-bye.